Hello, brother and sister in Christ. For today, the title of the devotional message is Mercy Forfeited. God's love is everlasting and always unmerited. However, humans can reject it. We have the opportunity to accept or reject that love, but only because God freely loved us with His perfect, everlasting love prior to anything we do. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 3, that's what it says. Our love for God is a response to what has already been given to us, even before we ask for it. As we dive into 1 John chapter 4, verse 7 to 20, what specific emphasis on verse 7 and 19? What does this tell us about the priority of God's love? You may drop your thoughts and comments as we discuss together. God's love always comes first. If God did not first love us, we could not love Him in return. While God created us with the capacity to love and to be loved, God Himself is the ground and the source of all love. We have the choice, however, whether we will accept it and then reflect it in our lives. The truth is exemplified in Christ's parable of the unforgiven servant. Matthew chapter 18, verse 23 to 35. In the parable, you can see that there was no way the servant ever could have repaid what he owed the master. According to the Matthew 18, the servant owed his master 10,000 talents. One talent amounted to about 6,000 denarii. And one denarius was what an average laborer would be paid for one day of work, which you can find in Matthew chapter 20, verse 2. So it would take an average laborer 6,000 days of labor to earn one talent. Suppose after accounting for days off, thus an average laborer might work 300 days per year and thus earn 300 denarii in a year. So it would take an average laborer approximately 20 years to repay one talent, which consists of 6,000 denarii. 6,000 divided by 300 is equivalent to 20 denarii. In order to earn 10,000 talent, then an average laborer would have to work 200,000 years. In short, the servant could never repay this debt. Yet the master yet compassion of his servant and freely forgive his huge debt. However, when this forgiven servant refused to forgive the far smaller debts of 100 denarii of one of his fellow servants and had him thrown in prison over the debt, the master was moved with anger and his merciful forgiveness. The servant forfeited the love and forgiveness of his master. Although God's compassion and mercy never ran out, one can finally reject even forfeit the benefit of God's compassion and mercy. Now, I want you to think about what you have been forgiven and what it costs you to be forgiven by Jesus. What should this tell you about forgiving others? Thank you for listening for today's devotional message. I hope this will reflect your life and may God bless each one of you. See you next time. Bye bye.